ជាដីហើយក៏មិនជាថ្មតែជាក្តាំគ្រប់យ៉ាងនៅទីនេះមិនដំណើរការដល់រលូនតែជំនួសការឡើងអ្នករកគ្នានៅទីនេះពិតជាខ្លាចខ្លាំងណាស់លោកគ្រូ
After multiple workers lost their lives at a Chinese construction site in Praseanok Province, Cambodia, the foreman asked the Chinese owner to seek help from a Chinese feng shui master to prevent further mishaps. During his investigation, the master uncovered a troubling truth involving a vengeful pregnant spirit. The spirit was angry about the construction on the site, as she considered the area as her domain. As a result, the feng shui master had to navigate through a series of challenges to uncover the problem and find a way to appease her. So, what really happened, and who was this woman? In 2020, there was massive growth in investments on new infrastructures in this province. On one particular day, feng shui master Mong was called to investigate a construction site. He went to check the building and found it strange. During his visit, he met the foreman's wife, who was pregnant at the time, and warned her to stay away from the site, but she did not believe in superstitions. Later, he invited the owner to a meal, where they discussed the history of the building and the land. The owner explained that he had purchased the property before coming to Cambodia, meaning the transaction was made entirely online through photos. Originally, the land was covered in grass with one large hill slightly off-center. The landlord claimed that it was simply a natural hill that had formed and that children regularly rode their bikes on it. Yet, the grass continued to grow perfectly, which seemed unusual. There was also a small sacred entity hut that was apparently placed there for good fortune. A few weeks later, after the transaction was completed, the driver that usually drove the landlord passed by the land again on his own and noticed that the hill had been removed, and the land looked much more preferable.
After the meal, the feng shui master went back to the building to conduct another investigation and ordered for all constructions in the building to be halted. The foreman then started telling him about the previous incidents that had occurred in the building, killing 4 of their workers. The first incident happened during the first ceremony. To commence construction, a blessing ceremony must be held. However, after the ceremony, a series of eerie and tragic events started to unfold. Many workers began experiencing disturbing dreams involving graves, hinting at something ominous about the land. Especially one worker dreamt of themselves sleeping on a grave, while another dreamt of themselves walking on the construction land, except it was filled with graves. Soon after, a worker discovered a decaying woman's body while laying the foundation. However, out of fear, he concealed it with concrete, and he later fell severely ill and passed soon afterwards. And just as the foreman was about to move to the next story, they heard hammering noises from the second floor. Out of confusion and curiosity, the feng shui master decided to go investigate with the foreman. Yet, leaving him behind on the first floor for safety, he then encountered a mysterious woman who claimed the land as her own before snapping out of a trance. Once they've both returned back down to the ground floor, the foreman proceeds describing the last incident. During this incident, there were 2 workers who were working on the 3rd floor, with one repeatedly seeing the same pregnant ghost, then suddenly becoming suffocated and jumping off the building the next moment. 3 more ceremonies were performed in response. However, during the final one, the truth was finally unveiled.
Halfway through the final ceremony, the pregnant ghost possessed the foreman's pregnant wife and threatened everyone to leave her bleeding alone, or else more people would be harmed. To calm down the ghost, the feng shui master explained to her their good intention and their curiosity as to why she is acting this way. The spirit broke down in tears and finally started to elaborate her life story. The truth was, her life was miserable. Coming from a poor family, she had finally found a good husband and started a family with him. However, his mother-in-law was ignorant and overprotective of her child. This bred endless hatreds toward the daughter-in-law, even going as far as attempting to mother her multiple times. The spirit was neglected, hated, tortured, and constantly left out by her in-laws. In the end, she died due to a fatal fall while arguing with her mother-in-law and was buried under this very building along with her newly born fetus. Turns out, the hill on the original land was actually one big grave consisting of 4 other smaller graves inside, 3 of which belongs to the relatives of the family and 1 to the pregnant woman married into the family. So when the body were removed from the land, her name was never remembered, therefore she never received any offering, thus her name was remembered by anyone. Her spirit was trapped in the land. As a result, she had turned into a vengeful spirit, demanding that the land was hers and that she did not give anyone approval to start construction. And still sobbing, the pregnant ghost had also confessed to kill all 4 of the construction workers as revenge and as an attempt to chase them away. By the end of the ceremony, the procession ended, with the pregnant ghost showing her true form only to the Chinese owner, to which he responded by leading her towards the exit and later declared that the building must be demolished after claiming to witness a ghostly pregnant woman leaving the site. Deeply shaken, he vowed never to underestimate Cambodian land again and warned others of his experience. Leftover questions. Now that we know what happened, it is inevitable that questions remain lingering. Was she the only culprit to blame for this occurrence, or were there other unknown faces to be identified? And until this day, what happened to the land after its abolishments remained a mystery.
Moral of the story: be mindful of the spiritual aspect before commencing big projects, such as building construction. Take action before it's too late, and always remember to be kind to others. You'll never know when they'll come back to find you.